Hello everyone! Good morning! I hope you're having a great Saturday and welcome to our live stream about how to make money online. It has been quite a time that we have been preparing for this. It's so great to see so many of you. Some names we already recognize, so it probably is already more like good afternoon or good evening for you, so let us know where you are currently tuning in from. We are currently in the Caribbean on our sailboat ForTuna. If you have been following us for a while, you know we have been living on ForTuna for almost 4 years now and we love our boat. So this is our home, but we're not going to talk about ForTuna today, but we're going to talk about how we are making money in order to be able to live this life and to live on a boat. So make sure to get somewhere comfortable, sit down, take away all the distractions, put all your attention on me for the next half an hour. I will try to get you all the tools you need to make money online or to make money actually from a sailboat. So if you have questions, please write them down and do make them at the end, because I will not be able to answer them during the presentation, but we will definitely take the time afterwards. Michael will be joining me for the Q&A part, so we'll be talking about half an hour and then we will have all the time to go through all the questions that you have. Speaking about Michael, he's currently hiding behind to do all the tech stuff, but he will definitely join later. If you are new to wind sailing, my name is Greta, and together with Michael we have been living on board and sailing around the world for 4 years now. What is very important, we are not rich, we don't have rich parents, we have not won the lottery, and unfortunately we also did not create some huge startup from our dorms room and made a lot of money. Instead, we actually were totally broke when we bought ForTuna, so all our investments 4 years ago went into the boat, and so everything we spent on ForTuna and while living on a boat, from boat maintenance to food, everything, all of that we actually earned while we lived on a boat. So today we are going to talk about how we did that. And make sure to stay till the end, because we have an awesome surprise and one of you will be able to win a one-on-one call with us. So we will be sitting down with one of you and answer all the questions that you might have about Boatlife, about how to work from a sailboat and everything that comes with being a liveaboard. So make sure to stay till the end. But enough about us. I would love to know a little bit more about you. Some of you we already know, but some of you are new here. So I guess if you're here today, at least one of those 4 situations, or maybe more of those 4 situations, apply to your current situation. So let us know in the comment, using the numbers, where you're currently at, what you're currently looking at. It obviously can be also more of one situation. So maybe you are currently living on land, you have a stable, are lucky to have a stable 9-to-5 job, and it should all be fine, but you kind of feel stuck and you would like to do something different, to go for a different life. This is definitely something that Michael and me can relate a lot to. We made the decision to live on a boat because we wanted to try something else. So we definitely can relate to that. Or maybe you're just dreaming of traveling the world and you just want to go out there and want to try a different life. Some of you, probably most of you, are dreaming of living on a boat. We have been doing it for 4 years, so we definitely know the feeling and we can only highly recommend it. But you also may already be a liveaboard who is already lucky enough to live on a boat, but you need some new ideas to make an income stream, because it can be very difficult. We have tried out a lot of different ones, so we know the struggle behind it, and we really hope we can help you here today to find some new inspiration to create more income streams. So what are we going to talk about today? I will shortly describe what is a sea digital nomad, just so that we're all on the same page. Then I will move into explaining what our personal experience was, the different income streams we created, and then we will move on to other examples and to show you how 3 steps actually that you should take in order to create new income streams that you can do from a sailboat. So let's move in. What are digital nomads? Digital nomad is a name that has been used a lot in the last years, especially the last 2 or 3 years. It really exploded due to the remote working possibilities that have been generated beside all the chaos of the last years. So a digital nomad is in general an individual who chooses to create an income stream while traveling. So obviously you have an income stream which is location independent, so it does not change where you're currently at. You will always be able to do your work. Normally it is connected to a nomadic lifestyle, that's why it's called digital nomad. So it's not someone who moves to a new country to work there, but it is someone who changes country very frequently. Like me and Michael, we probably change country every 2 or 3 months. Or even more frequently, depending on how big the country or the islands in our specific case are. And the last point, this is the digital part, is that you are probably using some kind of technology which has been developed in the last years to be able to work remotely, so the internet, a laptop, your phone, whatever else. So there's some kind of digital technology involved in all of this. Today we're specifically looking at digital sea nomads, how we like to call them, which are people who are working and living on a sailboat. So there is the whole sea part to it. It is actually different because living on a boat comes with a lot of challenges. So being a digital nomad is already a challenge in itself. If you add the whole boat life to it, it can be it can be tricky. Speaking about tricky, I want to level the field saying we're not here to give you some overnight success, how to make millions overnight, because those things maybe people do it, definitely. There's somebody out there, but in most cases that is not reality. You don't just upload a video to YouTube and become famous overnight. This is not happening. But we want to give you the certainty, or to want to give you the strength and the opportunities, to show you the opportunities that it is possible. A lot of people are doing it, a lot of people that are not on social media, and that is what we would like to highlight here. We have known so many liveaboards who are not on social media, who are not showing what they are working and how they're creating their money from a sailboat. So we want to show that to you. There are so much more possibilities than YouTube or Instagram to make an income while sailing. So let's have a look at this. We're starting with our own story. Our own story actually began in 2017. So at that point, me and Michael have met at work. We both had full-time employments, indefinite employments. Michael already had his own apartment. We were pretty much set what you would see from a classic view on the good life, so we really had it all. We could not complain. Michael already had an amazing career as project manager. I was starting out my career. I had done my bachelor and was now working in the profession that I had been studying for. But we both realized that this was not it for us. We wanted something more. We wanted to go out there. So in 2018, we started to take our first risks. So I actually quit my job to go and study to Finland. At the master's. I was doing my master's degree there, so I was hoping that another 2 years of study would kind of, placate my drive to go out there. I was hoping that another 2 years outside studying and doing other things would help me then to settle down. Michael at this point was given the opportunity for a very big chance at work, so he could have taken over the development of a new division in his company. What that would have meant, he would have another 7 years at least fixed in that company to be able to fulfill this project. So because Michael normally, when he takes on a responsibility, he will take it till the end. So instead of accepting this new challenge, Michael went for an even bigger challenge. He actually quit his job together with me and moved with me to Finland, where he started his entrepreneurial way, actually his entrepreneurial path. I think in general, if you decide to go for a digital nomad life, especially for a digital sea nomad life, you need to have some inner entrepreneurial drive, because there's so many moving parts, and you need the drive to do something a little bit different and to create your own thing. So that's why I like to show these first 2 years, even if we have not been living on a boat, because these 2 years gave us a lot of competences that now we can actually use. We have both been also working then in Finland. It was very cold there, and I was very blonde still. But after that, we decided we wanted to move to a boat. So after the 2 years, it was like, okay, should we go and settle down again, or do we go for the bigger risk even? And we decided to jump into Boatlife. We both at this point got the opportunity to do remote works. So I was working as a marketing manager for a university, and I was doing some weekly projects and was helping them out, when Michael got a huge opportunity as startup consultant. So everything he had learned in Finland, he was now able to use as a consultant for companies, and to create an income stream there. And that was also in 2022. So the first 2 years, we both kind of mainly worked in remote work positions. So first for me as marketing manager, and then as research assistant. And Michael went on with his consultant business, but in 2020 he also decided to start as a day trader. While we loved our jobs back then, and they gave us a lot of opportunity to create an income while sailing around, they also both still kind of tied us to a company, tied us to a location, and we sometimes had to fly back and so on. So we knew this was great for us currently, but we wanted to find something else. So with 2021, we took more and more risks. Michael fully concentrated on the day trading, and I still had my research assistant job, but I also started to invest more and more time when sailing, in our online shop, in other consultancies. So we're trying to get away from the remote working positions that we had. And actually since February 2022, so almost a year now, we are both fully without remote work positions. We have no fixed income that is coming in. It is all based on our own, on this new opportunities that we get. So I am fully focusing on, when sailing as an entrepreneur, I'm focusing mainly on our online shop, where I'm currently creating different kind of ebooks to help boat lifers like you or future liveaboards to go for this dream, to share all the knowledge we have developed. And Michael now has joined as a trading consultant in PTL, which is the Pro Traders Lounge. This just shows again that sometimes when you go for something new, like the day trading that Michael did, new opportunities can evolve. So that's very important. Whenever you're going for this way, try to have a lot of opportunities in the pot, like we say in Italy, or in the pan, and just always look forward what you can try to get out of it. And I think here, just to look it all over again, the income streams I just described were our main income streams, but we did also a lot of other things on the side. So we did not only concentrate on it, we also offered sailing weeks. So if you are any of the amazing people who have joined us in the sailing weeks in the last 4 years, thank you very much. Without you, it would not have been possible. It was a great way for us to get to know people. It was a great way for us to share this love for sailing, and now also sharing boat life knowledge. Besides that, we also have our social media platforms. So I know at the beginning I said social media you should not concentrate on social media, and I'm still kind of convinced of that, because social media never brought in any cash for us, okay? So social media is not something to rely on if you want cash. At least it has not been for us. But what social media can help you with is collaborations. So a lot of the sailboat upgrades we did, if it is the sails or the batteries, would have not been able without social media collaborations. Why I bring this up is because income streams doesn't always need to be cash. So in this case we had an income stream which was in a form of products. It still made us save a lot of money, so it's just part of this whole entrepreneurial journey that we have been going through. Being a digital sea nomad really means to always look at the bigger picture and to try to push yourself. But enough about us. How can you become a digital sea nomad? I like to point out 3 steps for now. The first thing is actually to define your why. Now, this might seem totally unrelatable, but believe me, it is very important, because digital sea nomads, it is a tricky life. Boat life in general is tricky, and sometimes there are a lot of challenges that you will have to face, and if you don't know why you're doing it, it can really mess with your mind. So in our case, it was to become location independent. So we wanted to create a life for us where we could always move, or where if tomorrow we decided we'd want to do something else, we want to sell the boat and move to Honolulu, I don't know, we would be able to do that with the income streams we created. Now, there can be a lot of reasons why you want to go for a digital sea nomad life. It could be to show your kids a different way of life. It could be because you want to travel. It could be because you're a scuba addict and you just want to go scuba diving every day after work. It could be because you want to live more eco-sustainable, or just because you want to prove it to yourself. So whatever it is, make sure that you know what your why is, and go for it, write it down, have it in front of you, and whenever you face a challenge, just focus on it. The second step is to define your skills and assets. So what have you worked so far? What are your work experiences? What kind of education do you have concluded? This is not only university or school, but this can be some extra courses you have taken. Are there any hobbies you're really good at? Are there any investments you can actually take, or any assets that you can use, from a car to a house to a boat, or there's so many different assets that you can have? Or is there any kind of passion that you want to turn into an income stream? So just write all of that down, see it in front of you, because it's probably a lot. Sometimes we don't realize what we're good at. Like social media is not something that I have ever studied, but it's something, or marketing, it's something that I always enjoyed as a hobby. I always read what other people were doing, how it was working, so I was kind of able in some way to turn that into an income stream. So just write everything down, what comes to your mind in these different divisions, and then try to match them to income streams. So what can these income streams be? And here I would like to use some examples of other amazing liveaboards out there, starting with Phil and Roxy from Sailing Thunder. They have been living on their boat now, I think, almost 5 years. They definitely started before us. And they actually wanted to go for the digital sea nomad life because they wanted to slowly travel the world. They wanted to learn new cultures. When you live on a boat, or when you're being a digital nomad, you're not only visiting a country or a place and do all the touristy stuff, but you have the luck to be part of the community, to experience it in such a different way. And they wanted that, and they wanted also to share more time with each other. When you work in companies, when you have a 9-to-5 job, you're gone from 9 to 5, or even probably 9 to 7 or 9 to 8, depending on kind of job you have. So there's a lot of time you are spending away from each other, and being able to be a digital sea nomad means you're spending a lot of time with each other. For some it might be too much, but others, like they, and also for us, it is a great way to spend most of our time together. So what kind of skills and assets did they have? When they left the US, so they're both American, Phil was actually a musician, so he produced music, he taught music, he had different concerts, and while Roxy was a quality assurance in software. They already had a 9-meter small sailboat, and they also had a side hustle where they were selling greeting cards. So in I think 2016 they decided to go for Boatlife, 2017 around that time, and they decided to take their side hustle and develop it into an online shop. So nowadays they're mostly relying on their online shop, which is called Boatlife Cards, which they are doing from around the world. So they actually sailed the Caribbean, crossed the Atlantic, now are sailing the Med, and they're always doing that from the boat. And they're also writing sailing articles for the yachting world or other bigger sailing sailing magazines. So that's two kind of streams that you can work on, which is an online shops or writing sailing articles. Another example is Julia. Julia moved to her boat around a year ago together with her boyfriend, and they actually wanted to move to a boat because they just were looking for a different way of life. So in the last years they have changed country quite frequently between studies, different work opportunities, and they kind of realized that they wanted still to travel, still to see a lot of the world, but they needed a home that can do that with them, because if you ever move to a new country, you know how it can be draining to get a new apartment, settle down, move your stuff. So if you do that from a boathouse, you just bring all your stuff with you, you have your boat. So this is was their goal. And they had their skills and assets was that they were actually both working full time. So Matt is a software developer, while Julia is a lawyer and currently working as in-house counseling. And in 2021 they actually also started, or Julia actually started, a YouTube channel about studies. So it actually had nothing to do with sailing. It was something totally different, but she just did it to enjoy themselves. And a year ago they actually convinced both their companies to be able to work as remote workers. So they are now fully employed remotely. They sometimes have to go back for team meetings, but in general they are working from their boat. And they also run their YouTube channels. They were able to transform the study channel into sailing channels. I'm mentioning it even if Julia said it's actually not a lot of income coming in from there, but it is still a great asset still to have. There are a lot of other income streams that you can actually do on a boat. We have collected 16 different income streams with real life examples in our new digital sea nomad bundle. So we have taken all the knowledge that we have gained in the last 4 years and have put it into this new bundle that is actually going online right now. You're the first ones to hear about it, and you're also the first ones to be able to get the early bird prize. Nobody else is currently aware of this, and it will be only online for the next 48 hours, so check it out if you're interested with it. We will now put the link into the chat. Michael will put the link into the chat if you want to check it out. It will not only contain income streams, but it also contains about how to actually set up an office. So what are all the technical parts, from the internet to the batteries, what kind of websites you can use, because there are a lot of websites and platforms that allow you to find jobs, that allow you to create income streams. So we collected most of them, at least the 85 we know, we collected them all together. And we also developed 5 worksheets which you can use to go through the whole process and define what kind of income streams you want to create from the sailboat. So I hope this was useful for you until now. And we are open now for questions. I know there's a little bit of a lag between what I'm currently saying and what you're hearing. So I will just now shut up and wait for your questions if you have any. Hast du den Link oder soll ich schauen?
Ich habe den Link. Hello guys. First question, how long time did it take you to become profitable and steady income in trading? Years. Like I started trading about 7 years ago and tested out everything between investing in altcoins and holding, and then I went into trading. I did some stocks, and then I went into crypto, and then after like 3 years ago I became profitable, and then you will get better and better every time, but it is a long journey. Hello Ian, nice to see you. Are you still in Panama?
Obviously remembered you. Oh, thank you. I'm well spoken. Well, it was a very long way to learn English, and I'm still probably making a lot of errors, so thank you for coping with us. But if we're cooped up, I think sometimes this feeling comes up, but we probably have one of the biggest yards where we can play in, so whenever we have that feeling, we go on land, or Michael normally goes into the water and just swims for hours. It really depends on if we're currently working or if we're currently more focusing on exploring. The last weeks have been very much focused on working, so we spend hours and hours here in the saloon working on the different projects that we're running. So I think during those work weeks we sometimes forget that we're even on a boat, because we're so much concentrating on what we're doing and on creating the income stream to go on with this life. But whenever we're feeling cooped up, we take the dinghy, we go somewhere and try to make the best out of it.
Yeah, and in the end you are mostly in nature. Like even if the boat is small, you're still always out in the free and with nature, so you really don't have this feeling of being in a small space.
The couple that's lawyer software developer, do they work from a marina or on the hook? So Julia and her boyfriend are currently mainly in the marina, so that's very different to what we are doing, because they have a stable, like they have a 9 to 5 time frame where they have to be online. So currently they prefer to stay in the marina and work from there. It also has to do with your setup. So for us it took us almost 2 years to do all the boat upgrades that are necessary to now be fully, remote. We have the battery, the internet, everything that comes with it to be able to work from the boat without having to go into the marina. Michael actually despises marina, so that would have never worked for us. When we finished work, we just want to jump into the water and go. Obviously, being at anchor comes with a lot of difficulties. It's just challenges that you face, if it's from the weather, your boat neighbors, and different things that come with it. So I think it's just how you prefer to live your life. How much money did we start with? Well, a lot less than you probably imagine.
Little, yeah.
I said after buying ForTuna we were broke, and we were only able to buy ForTuna because we went for co-ownership of our boat. So we found a friend of ours, a sailing friend, who decided to buy the boat, 50% of the boat with us. We talk about it in detail on our blog, how it actually works, the different rules we had for the boat co-ownership. And today is now 2 years.
2 years.
2 years now that we are fully owners of ForTuna. But it's in general, we try to see our boat life as an enterprise. So all the different kinds of financial ideas that you sometimes have for companies, why not use them for your life? That's what we're trying to do. We're seeing our boat ForTuna as our investment. So we started with a kind of this co-ownership, and everything that goes into ForTuna we try not to see as expense but investment, because let's be honest, if tomorrow everything goes bad, if tomorrow we are broke again and we cannot go on, we can always sell ForTuna and have some budget to create something new. Obviously we should not run ForTuna aground. That would be bad.
Are you more of a day trader or swing trader? I'm more of a day trader simply because the sailing aspect. So I don't like to have positions open when we're sailing longer distances. So I really prefer to scalp and day trade. So I enter, take profit, and get out of the trade, and then I don't have to worry about if internet for some case does breakdown or we do longer sails. So that's mostly sailing specific for me.
How do you manage meeting schedules between each other with the small space? We just fight it out.
Now the space is big enough. Like we have 3 rooms, and if we have meetings at the same time, someone is in the main saloon, or someone is outside, or in the master cabin. So there's enough space, I think.
Yeah, normally, and it's very rarely that they actually overlap. In our case, Michael's last project, the Pro Traders Lounge, is definitely taking up a lot of the meeting hours here on board, but it has always worked out.
Yeah.
How many weeks did you rent a year? Actually, not a lot.
Now, in the beginning, like in the first years in the Met, we did a lot. Like we had for about 2 months people on board, and then we scaled it down. We did not know what it all includes, because like it became more and more our home. So you set up everything as you like it, and stuff, more sails, whatever you have, more takes more space on the boat. So we have like currently 1 cabin full of sails or cushions or table and other technology, for example. And now we have like about 4 weeks a year where we have people on board. 5?
Yeah, not even. I think we love to do it, but we also, as Michael said, realized this is our home now. So having people in your home on a boat, it can get tricky, and we don't want to have to feel it like it's work. Okay, when people join us, we want to give them their full attention, and in order to do so, we needed to kind of balance it out. Taxes. Do we pay taxes?
We pay taxes. Everything. We pay everything still back in Italy.
Yeah.
We have both companies set up there, and pay regular taxes back in Italy. Good
Internet. Internet is a big question. It has been a huge expense.
Big expense. Yes.
It definitely
main
has.
expense. But it works very good. Like so far, we are in zones where Starlink is not available, like it should be in a month. So we should have better internet through satellite. So far, we are using.
It's actually
SIM
in
cards.
the book we describe 7 different ways about how you can have internet on your boat, and what are the pros and cons of every single possibility. Babies.
No babies planned.
ForTuna is our baby. Yeah. That's work and money enough that goes in there currently.
How have you been doing regarding hurricane season? Hurricane season.
We don't talk about that until it's finished.
No, but it is also not as.
No, it has been good. We don't want to shout it out there, as
but
sailors.
You can always escape. There's always,
Yeah.
with the weather today, you always know 5 or 6 days in advance if something is coming, and you always have enough time to sail somewhere where you're safe. So.
Yeah. What was the weirdest reaction you got during meeting when people realized you were talking with them from a boat?
They're always thinking we're on holidays. Like if we have meetings or business meetings, and I mentioned that I'm on the boat, people are always thinking we're on holidays and swimming and enjoying and relaxing the whole time. But like as Greta said earlier, we are most of the time on our computers working, trading, doing consultancy jobs, whatever, but it is not holidays in the end.
Yeah, I think they don't realize that we're here full time. At least a lot of people obviously know that we work on constantly, but if people see the boat and don't know our lifestyle, they just think, we took a meeting during a sailing week or something like that. How much sailing experience?
Very little.
Yeah.
Like when we moved to Finland, I did my RYA skipper and got an ICC license. I did like 5 weeks of sailing with the course, with the sailing class, and then we rented out 1 boat in Italy to charter, and after that we bought a boat. So we learned while doing. Mostly we don't have much, or we don't had much experience before, and we learned the hard way, but it's definitely worth it and easy to do.
Yeah, it was a good combination between Michael actually having all the knowledge, because you should have the knowledge before leaving. There are a lot of security issues that come with sailing, so please make sure to have that knowledge. But then with everything, like, practice, that's just the only way to learn. There is no shortcut to it. What kind of minimalism do you, if at all, practice? Well,
a lot.
A lot of minimalism. Just the space on a boat does not allow you to have a lot of things. But the beautiful thing about boat life for us has been that we realized we don't need it. Like, there's so much stuff we had on land that you just don't need. For me, probably the biggest change was definitely the clothing department, but probably also for Michael, because he had almost as much clothes as I had back.
Tons of shoes and stuff. Like,
we have not been buying really anything since we moved on the boat. We go through a lot of t-shirts because you're just
sweating,
salt, wind.
Water,
It's just so bad for t-shirts. But we have our own t-shirts now, so we know how they're produced. We try to go the eco-sustainable way. We know where they're coming from, so that has been really good. And in general, just living with what we have. I think our backyard every day reminds us that
you don't need much to be happy in the end.
No.
It's literally like, and you don't get exposed to advertisement. Like, we don't watch TV, we don't watch radio or listen to radio. We don't see billboards, and when we come back on land and go into cities, we see this whole influence of advertising, and you want to buy stuff, but here everything is calm and we're just happy with the stuff we have.
Purchase a book. Thank you so much. I hope you are it will be useful to you. Oh, I totally forgot, actually. Everybody who will purchase a book within the first 48 hours will be eligible for our one-on-one call. So after the 48 hours, we will look at all the people who have purchased a book, and we will randomly choose a person to sit down with us and talk about everything you would like to know about Boatlife.
We watch our data.
Yes.
We use about 200 gigabytes a month approximately, and for Starlink we have the normal RV option because maritime is just still far out and too expensive, and RV option works perfectly for most of the sailors.
Yeah. Well done, love the channel. Thank you very much. You're trying our best.
Skipper license. How does the renting or chartering work out? Whenever you do,
I think it depends a lot on the country, so I would not go too much into detail. We actually sat down with Mina Vagante Sailing, and they described the whole process step by step, how they went from occasional renting to being a full-time sailing charter now. They're using a combination between UK law and Italian law, because the boat is UK, they're Italian, so there are so many pieces and it's difficult to answer to that. But in the next month there will be a blog post about it, and we will go through step by step. There are already some informations in the book how they have been doing it, so the book contains a lot of more that we have not been able to touch here on. When you say security, do you mean pirates? No.
There are no pirates. Like, we have not seen pirates around, and also on the places we've been so far, there was no real danger anywhere. People are really friendly all around the world so far.
When we speak about sailboat security, I mean everything related to sailing. So, having a safety vest, knowing the winds, knowing what the sails should be doing, knowing how to, if the waves get high, how to approach them, how to, sail up and down a wave, or all these things that can go, and all the equipment, obviously, from an APIRB to whatever, all expensive things that you all need for safety on a boat. I am wondering, apart from the upfront cost of ForTuna, how much is your estimate of a monthly budget? So, monthly budget is very difficult to write down a number, because we all have different lifestyle.
And it changes from month to month and location to location.
Exactly. Between location and lifestyles, it's hard to say a number, but if you're interested to find out your personal boat life budget, the first bundle we published was about finances on a boat. So we write down everything we know about prices in all the different countries that we have sailed so far. We share all our expenses of the last 3 years, from boat maintenance to food. So
Yeah.
you get all the data, you can have a look at it, you can define your own, and we also take you step by step. What are the different kind of budget voices that you should take into account? You can also find a bundle also on our web shop. They're both there, and they include everything you would need to know.
We have a washing machine on the boat for the clothes. So
Yeah.
a small washing machine with like 3 liter or 3 kg, 3 liters, and we managed to wash everything. The boat shakes a bit, but it works properly. So
There is a full Q&A on our YouTube channel if you would like to know more about the washing machine. Your website, our prices in euro, where are they shipped from? So if you're talking about shipping, you're probably looking at our t-shirts currently. We are working together with a company that produces these t-shirts in 5 different locations. So depending from where you are ordering, they will produce it as close as possible
Yeah.
to you. So that's why we love to work with them. If you are ordering it from the US, they will be produced in the US. If you're ordering from the EU, they will be produced there. So
and there is no stock, so they
Yeah.
get produced.
Yeah.
That's also the reason why they're a bit more expensive, and we don't earn much on them. But it's more eco-sustainable that way, and we don't have like 2,000 t-shirts on
and
stock.
exactly, it takes a
ship
little
it.
bit longer. So
Yeah.
if it takes now 1 or 2 weeks to get it, it's because they actually have to produce it the moment you order it. A comment on clothes. I'm told that bikinis take up less space than shoes. They definitely do. We have been living a lot more in bikinis. What I have found out, unfortunately, is that bikinis are not made to be worn every day. I have been destroying a lot of them. So compared to jeans that you normally use, I need a lot of more bikinis since we've moved on a boat. Good job, you two. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching, guys. Amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of thank yous still. That's so great. We thank you very much for being here today. I think we're almost at. Are you guys getting much weather from this, Fiona?
This morning,
That's actually why this morning we had to lift the anchor. We have been working so much the last week that we a little bit forgot to check the weather forecast. That's rule number 1. Always to always check the weather forecast, and we forgot that, but we were still safe. We just needed to lift the anchor and find a new bay to get here in time for the live stream. It's pretty far up, so we should not be too much affected by it. It's just a lot of rain probably, and it's cloudy. There's no sun today, but
And if there's a hurricane north, it always sucks out all the air.
Yeah.
So it is like very hot, wind still, and we're sweating like crazy on those days. But it's mostly safe south in the Grenadines where we are right now. So
my Stay Salty sweatshirt is my favorite. Thank you. What was the biggest challenge at the beginning when you moved to the boat?
there's a lot of small challenges, but it's nothing really. It's definitely the biggest change, I would say, is living with the weather, because you're so used to a regular 9 to 5 whatever, and the weather does not influence you. But if you're on the boat, you need to move. Like also this morning we wanted to stream from another bay, and we had to move 1.5 hours north to be not in shaking, not in rain, and to be more protected. But you definitely have to be more flexible with everything you do.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing. But yeah, thank you. I think we were slowly calling it a day here. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested to learn more about working from a boat, or how much it costs to work from a boat, you can now find our bundles and our t-shirts on our website. There is also one about ocean crossings. So I hope that can be useful for you. Otherwise, always write us on Instagram or here on YouTube. We would always try to get back to all of you. And yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to stay salty. And we are hopefully soon making more YouTube videos. Unfortunately, our computer broke down a month ago and all the videos were gone. So it would take a while to recreate them. Thank you so much for being here.
Have a good day, guys, and have a nice weekend. Is this a thing yet? Stop streaming? No?